months of hard work, games, practices, all comes to a head this evening at the Carlin Lynch Activity Center for the Dartmouth High Lady Indians as they play host to the Lady Trojans of Bridgewater-Raynham in the Southeast Conference final and championship match here this evening. Again, it's all on the line tonight for the Indians if they win. A culmination of thus far a perfect 2020 season coming into this afternoon or this evening's tilt. It's early evening, late afternoon here. Coming in with a perfect 12-0 record while the Trojans come in at 5-7. So glad you've decided to spend part of your day with us. Ian Abreu here courtside calling the action. And you can see head coach Rachel Lassie in her 10th year, hoping for another championship and another title and another bit of glamour under her belt and the belt of her Lady Indians here. Let's take a look at their starting lineup. No surprises. The senior setter, Jamie Hall, will also have the junior outside hitter, Sorrel Lawton. Lily Wheaton, the junior, will be the middle hitter. Senior defensive specialist, Hannah Bouvier. We will also see junior middle hitter, Amelia Ablett. Freshman outside hitter, Gabby Velasquez. And rounding out the starting lineup, as always, Ava Crane, the sophomore outside hitter. To kick things off and standing at the service line for the Trojans, we have Ashley Jakes, the junior, number 3. These two teams have played each other twice already this year, and the Indians were victorious twice. There's a chance for Ablett on the outside. Jakes playing it over as Reaney. Hall. There's a chance for a kill. It's up and down. Slamming it in was Sorrel Lawton on the outside. And the Indians draw first blood 1-0. Well, how did we get here? The Indians took care of business earlier in the week in the semifinal match with a 3-0 sweep over West Bridgewater. Jump serve for Lawton hits the net, and we're tied at 1. On the Trojan side of the ledger, they're coming off a 3-1 set victory over the New Bedford High Whalers earlier this week, and that's how we're here. Maya Hart will now serve for Bridgewater-Raynham. Bouvier playing it to Hall. Over to Crane. Nice dig on the back line by Hart. That's McLaren getting it over. Hall. Back to Crane, the 1-2 punch. Wait for the call. Just out of bounds, it's ruled. 2-1, Bridgewater-Raynham. They get their first lead of the afternoon very early. Out of bounds, a service error. And just like that, we're tied at 2. Coming into today's contest, the Indians' obvious point leader, and we'll get to that in a minute, stopped on the service ace on the back line by Hart. Getting it over and dropping it in for the Trojans, that's Jakes, 3-2. But again, as I was going to say, leading the Indians in kills so far this season, coming in both regular and postseason. No surprise, Ava Crane with 133. Just behind her is Sorrel Lawton at 87. That's the 1-2 punch. There's Crane. Yes, right on cue. Ava Crane shows us why she is so lethal on that attempt there, and she slams it in. We're tied at 3. Here's Bailey Spardella, the senior libero. Here's Tavares trying to find pay dirt, and it's just blocked away by Garcia. Garcia gets it over. That was to Crane. Jakes with the stop. Hall to Crane. Bingo. 4-3 now your score. And the Indians regain the lead. And Spardella will once again serve. Shearstone stops it. Over to Tavares, who tries to tip it, but it's stopped. There's Crane. Hits the net, bounces back, and we're once again tied up. It's now 4 apiece, and Tavares will serve. Again, the Indians led by head coach Rachel Lassie, and the Trojans are led by head coach Maria Serrano. Crane on the stop. Nice dig. Here's Crane. Misfires. 5-4 now your score. Usually this season, the pattern the Indians have shown us is they blow out their opponents in that first set and they go on a huge run. We haven't seen that yet, and there's another chance and another error at the net. Lily Wheaton now misfires. It's now 6-4. Here's Tavares, the lefty. That's a good ace. It just hit the tape. It deflected. It had all sorts of English on it. Lands in territory, inbounds, right in front of Jillian Garcia. It's now 7-4, and here's Tavares again. Hall with the bump. Over to Crane. A two-hand tip, and that too is out of bounds. And the Trojans have doubled up their lead. No, wait a minute. The far side said it was out. The near side said it was in. We get a call on the reversal. It's now 7-5. The Indians get the ball, much to the dismay of Maria Serrano, who's debating with the far side official. The scoreboard had changed to 8-4. The call was made. You saw it. The right arm was stretched out in favor of Bridgewater-Raynham. But the opposite side judge switched the call, and there's an out-of-bounds attempt on the jump serve. 8-5 now your score. We've been seeing that a lot lately in the last couple of matches where the near side or far side will make a call and the opposite side will contradict and overrule the other one. I guess that's akin to how well you know your partner. There's a slam attempt at the net by Lawton, deflected back over, and we're going to get a net call against Bridgewater-Raynham. Goes against Reed. 8-6 now your score. Here's Bouvier. She'll step up to the line. Nice article about her earlier in the week in the New Bedford Standard Times about how she's really a spark plug on this team. And we have a point off of the serve. Digging it down was Julia Newcomb, but she hits the net as it comes up, and the ball and point go back to the Indians. And now Bouvier and the Indians have a chance to tie this thing. Nice low line drive serve, and that's going to be an ace. Anna Bouvier has now been on the line for back-to-back points. And she'll try for the second service ace in a row. Nice low line drive, but dug out by McLaren on the corner. Tipped over by Donahue. Here's Hall. A rejection at the net by Reed off of Velasquez. Nice play by Reed. Shearstone with the nice dig. Reed again. Nice play on the back line by Bouvier on the dig. Hall conservatively just tips it over. Donahue off the tape. Blocked by Lawton. Lawton again on the give and go. Tipping it. Nice dig by Shearstone. Back and forth we go. There's Donahue. Hall. This is a tailor-made setup. Hall. A rejection at the net wonderfully by Jakes. Lawton again. Tipped. Kept alive by Reed. Back and forth we go. What tremendous volleyball we have here. Back and forth. Lawton finally touches it down and caps off the tremendously wonderful back and forth that we just saw there between both squads. And that was great to see. And the Indians cap it off. And Bouvier remains at the line. Stopped by McLaren, and it's an ace. McLaren had bumped it, and it went all the way to the near side to Julia Moratelli, and she couldn't hang on. It's now 10-8, and Bouvier, who has the hot hand, continues to serve. Stopped by Shearstone. Back to Moratelli. Hall. Velasquez. Nice dig by McLaren in the back. There's Reed. Just tips it over. Dug out by Crane. A one-timer now to Lawton. Stopped back in her own court by Donahue. Lawton, yes. Sorrel Lawton on the beautiful setup by Jamie Hall. Those sets from Hall are so great. You can have a cup of coffee while you wait for those to come out, because you can just see when she's ready to go, she gets that set. It's a nice high arcing set when she puts it right on, and it's usually a kill opportunity that results in points some way, shape, or form for the Indians. You know good things are going to happen when Hall puts it forth just outside that COVID zone, whether it's to Lawton, to Wheaton, or of course to Crane or even Velasquez. The opponents know that when Hall starts to set, they're in big trouble. Well, Maria Serrano obviously burns a timeout there with the Indians starting to take control of this opening set. They have now extended their largest lead of the set. It's 11-8. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but considering at one point the Indians themselves trailed by 3 points and were making a few errors here and there at the net, this is quite a turnaround and should be celebrated. Here's Bouvier. There it is, another ace. Hannah Bouvier, the senior. A line drive, too hot to handle by Julia Shearstone. And it's now 12-8. Stopped by Shearstone, hits the top of the ceiling. Still in play, goes to Donahue, who just gets it over. The point is going to be going against Bridgewater-Raynham. We're going to get a net call against the Trojans, and the Indians catch a huge break there because that did touch down for a point, but it's ruled dead because of the net infraction. Bouvier just misses, and not by much. She just missed that end line on her service attempt. 13-9 now your score, and Reed will now serve the jump service. Nice low line drive, stopped by Lawton. Lawton on the give and go. We have a stoppage, and we're going to get an infraction called against the Indians, and the ball and point will go against Bridgewater-Raynham, and Reed will once again serve. An ace, back-to-back points for Bridgewater-Raynham, and they've cut the lead to 2. It's 13-11. Too hot to handle for Crane that time. Nice low line drive serve by Sadia Reed, the senior. Another good one, dug out by Crane this time. Hall on the bump. To Lawton, blocked at the net, kept alive by Donahue. Back over to McLaren, who tips it over. There's Lawton, stopped by Reed. Reaney. Lawton, yes. Looked like perhaps that might be going out of bounds, but because it tipped off of the hands of Moratelli and then landed out of bounds, that's a good ball and a good point. It's now 14-11. Here's Hall to serve, another very dangerous player from that service line, and we're going to get a carry call against Bridgewater-Raynham, 15-11, and the Indians will bank home another point off of a miscue by their opponents. Here's Hall again. Stopped by McLaren. Hall on the bump. Ablett over to Lawton, who just conservatively gets it over. Stopped by Reaney. Blocked at the net. One whack, two whacks. Finally, getting it over was Reaney, but it's out of bounds. Ball and point go back again to the Indians. 16-11. And now they've put themselves in a great position to take this opening frame. They lead by 5. Off the net, bounces into good territory. Inbounds, fair. It's good. 16-12. And you can give the credit that time to Jakes, who will now serve. Crane stops it on the back line. Lawton over to Ablett, who just tips it over. That's dangerous, but stopping it was Shearstone from touching down in fair territory. There's a set. It's just off the tape. It lands on top of the tape, bounces sideways into Indian territory. Nothing Ablett could do. An error for the Indians. It's now 16-13, and here's Jakes. Ablett stopped by Jakes. Hall. We have a stoppage and a net call against the Indians, and the ball and point again go back to Bridgewater-Raynham. Here's Jakes. Hall. Ablett gets it over to McLaren. Nice stop on the end line by Bouvier. That was a good ball. That would have touched down. She saves a point there. Nice back set, and we're going to get a carry call against Bridgewater-Raynham. 17-14, and the Indians get the luck of the Irish on that one. Here's Lawton to serve. The jump service, stopped by Tavares, over to Jakes, who just gets it over. Ablett to Hall. Back to Ablett, who tips it over the net, and she'll be called for the net infraction. 2-point game once again at 17-15. This one is too close for comfort if you're an Indian fan. Got to give Bridgewater-Raynham credit. They're hanging on here, and they would love to steal this opening set. Hart over to Crane. Hall. Back to Crane. Stopped by Hart again on the back line. McLaren tipped at the net. Bumped by Ablett. Back over to Crane, who tips it over. That's Shearstone to McLaren. Bouvier. Hall. Kill attempt that time by Crane was stopped. There's Crane again, a block at the net, but it goes out of bounds in out-of-bounds territory, and it'll be a kill for Ava Crane. And the ball and point will go back to the Indians, and Gabby Velasquez will now serve. Tavares. Huge break for the Indians as that hits the net. And the Indians get the point. It's now 19-15. 6 points away from taking this opening frame and drawing that very first victory. Velasquez looking for the ace. Stopped on the near side by McLaren. Hall on the set to McLaren. To Crane, and it's good in front of McLaren. 20-15. That textbook play we've seen all year long. Hall to Crane, or Hall to Lawton, or Hall to Velasquez. And with that being said, Maria Serrano is going to burn another timeout. Timeouts here are a minute long, and of course you have to social distance. Well, win, lose, or draw here for the Indians. No matter what happens, this will be our last high school volleyball telecast here on DCTV for the 2020 season. This is the Southeast Conference Championship final match. And it would be a great way for these Lady Indians to culminate what has been a perfect season thus far, 12-0. They've really dismantled most of their competition. Few sets here and there have gone to their opponents. A couple of times they were brought to the wire, but most sets and most matches they've won this season were quite decisive. Case in point, against West Bridgewater in the semis a few days ago, the final scores were 25-13, 25-13, and 25-17. And really, none of those sets were in doubt. This one's a little different, though. Bridgewater-Raynham has come to play today for sure. It's the net saved by Lawton, just volleyed back over by Crane. There's Reaney off the net, tipped. It's into Dartmouth territory. They can't get it over the net. Ball and point go back to the Trojans. It's now 20-16. Here's Reaney. digging it out on the service ace attempt. Nice dig by Garcia. A block at the net off Reed. Ablett to Wheaton. A stoppage, a net call against the Indians again. It's now 20-17. Reaney now to serve. The Indians better be careful here before this opening set falls away from them. There's Crane on a tip. They're going to get a carry call against Bridgewater-Raynham. If you want to beat the Indians and this excellent volleyball team, you can't commit errors and penalties like that. And the Indians will make you pay. And you can't give them free points. They get one there, 21-17. Spardella back to serve. That's going to be an ace. It was almost saved by Maya Hart on the near side, but barely. Spardella, the senior libero, touches it down, 22-17. She'll try for her second in a row. Stopped by Tavares on the near side. Getting it over was Jakes. Hall to Crane, a two-handed tip, stopped by Shearstone. Reed, who can really fire it, blocked on the backline by Garcia. There's a tip off the tape, and it's good. Ava Crane. It hit the top of the net, hit that tape, took a funky bounce, lands inside territory in front of Bridgewater-Raynham. They get the point. Tavares blocks it on the near side. A rejection at the net by Crane, and it's good. 24-17, and now it's game point time for the Indians, and Spardella has a chance to put it on ice. Blocked by Shearstone. A tip over the net, and it's good. Touching it down was Madison McLaren, and the Trojans have a pulse. It's 24-18, and Tavares will serve. Stopped by Crane. Hall. Over to Wheaton, who tried to slam it home. Misfires. It's now 24-19. And Tavares will again serve. The lefty. Stopped by Spardella. Here's Crane with a chance to end it, but it's stopped by Shearstone. Here's Reed with the laser beam. Stopped by Lawton. Hall to Crane with a chance to end it, and she will. Ava Crane ends set number one with a rocket of a kill on the outside, and the Indians take it 25-19, and they etch the scoring sheet first, and they now lead the overall match 1-0. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with set number 2 action in just a moment here on DCTV. As expected, the Indians came out guns blazing in the opening set, and they took care of business, and they drew first blood, winning the first set by the final score of 25-19. Again, as a reminder, all high school volleyball matches are a best of 5. You've got to win 3 to win the overall match or game, whatever you want to call it. So the Indians take a 1-0 lead. And this set, without a doubt, as I always say, is the most important set, because if the Indians can win it, it seems like a victory in a Southeast Conference championship is all but inevitable for the Indians. But if the Trojans can tie this thing, it's anyone's game. We'll see how both teams respond to the leadership of their coaches. We saw Maria Serrano of Bridgewater-Raynham and Rachel Lassie of Dartmouth both going over instructions with their squads in very stern ways. Lawton, that's an ace right off the bat. A low line drive right off of the ground. Trying to dig it out was McLaren, and she couldn't. And that's a great start for the Indians. Sorrel Lawton drops it in. By the way, a bit of statistics for you. Ava Crane led all scorers in that first set with 7 kills. Blocked at the net, just got back over though. Nice play by Donahue to block it at the net. Ablett plays it back to Bouvier. Lawton gets it over. That's Shearstone. Over to Rini. Lawton. Nice behind the back play to get it over by Velasquez. And there's a kill for McLaren right off of the left hand of Hall. We're tied at 1. Providing me with those stats, by the way, was Brendan Curry, the very famous scribe of the New Bedford Standard Times and South Coast Today. He's here covering the game, so I appreciate him for trying to make me look good, but I got to give credit where credit is due to my buddy Brendan. And there's Crane, just out of bounds, no good, 2-1. Here's Maya Hart, who steps back up to the line. She'll serve from the near side of the court. Stopped by Crane. That's Velasquez, yes. It was tipped at the net by Rini, and she couldn't hang it. 2-2 now your score. And Velasquez will now serve. Jump service. Volleyed back over the net by McLaren. Hall to Crane. Too easy. That's child's play right there. Hall to Crane. She saw the opening on the far side, and she hits it right down on the far side edge, and it's good for the ball and point for the Indians. There's a chance off the tape on the service, but it's just kept alive by Shearstone. Ablett over to Crane. 1 tip, 2 tip, no good. She hits the net. We're tied at 3. Sadia Reed will check back in now for the for the Trojans. And Ashley Lyonnaise will come in for the Indians. So we have subs on both sides of the court. There's Crane, the 1-2 punch. Yes, Hall to Crane. There was nothing both Rini or Hart could have done. They were frozen. That was another laser beam off of the right hand of Ava Crane. And Haley Correa will now serve. Low line drive, no good. And the point will go back to to Bridgewater. Again, the Indians had beaten West Bridgewater in the semifinal, and the Trojans had beaten New Bedford High in their semifinal. That's Tavares on the serve. The bump to Crane. Way out of bounds, and it is played by Hart wonderfully over to Tavares, who does get it over. McLaren, Hart to Wheaton, who tips it over the net. That's good if it's in play, and it is. It was tipped at first by Logan Tavares, and Tavares tried to get it over, and she couldn't. She stumbles, and the Indians will take it. They regain the lead, 5-4, and Crane will serve, and this could spell danger for Bridgewater-Raynham. Tried for that low line drive, and she just misfires. Hits the net, and we're knotted again. It's 5 apiece. Madison McLaren, the senior, to serve. Stopped by Wheaton. That's Lawton now. Lawton, net call against Bridgewater-Raynham. And they get the point, they get the ball. And let's see who will serve. And here comes that spark plug off the bench, Hannah Bouvier, who had a couple of service aces back in that first set, if you recall. And she'll hope to light it up again. And she will. Right off the bench, right on cue. There's Bouvier with that nice service ace, that low line drive once again. The low line drives today have been too hot to handle for the Trojans on the serves. There it is again, and that's inbounds again, back to back. 8-5 now your score. We saw her rattle these off in the semifinal. We saw it in the first set today, and we're seeing it in the second set. She'll try for 3 in a row. Stopped by Shearstone, and it's kept alive by McLaren. Just volleyed over by Moratelli. There's Hall. To Velasquez, stopped by Shearstone. And it's good. Reed just tips it over, and it lands inbounds. 8-6 now your score. So the Trojans kill the Indian momentum there, and they get the ball, and they get the point back. Jump serve by Reed. And there is an errant call on the jump serve. It deflects out of bounds. (8-7) now your score. Deflected off of Velasquez. Landed out of bounds. Just out of play. But again, going off an Indian. It's a good ball. There's Reed again on the jump serve. Stopped by Crane. Almost goes out of bounds. Stopped by Lawton. Crane gets it over and touches it down right in front of the outstretched dive of Reed. And it's good. 9-7 your score. So glad you've decided to join us on the YouTube live stream, folks. Ian Abreu here with you at courtside. We wish you were here. Trust me, we do. Here's Jamie Hall. Tries on the serve, stopped by Shearstone. Getting it over now is Moratelli, stopped by Bouvier. Lawton, dug out by McLaren on the near side. There's Hall, service to Lawton. It's blocked at the net again, this time by Donahue. Lawton, bingo. Sorrel Lawton slams it in. 10-7 now your score. Hall to serve. Another carry call. This time it's going to go against Moratelli on the far side. 11-7. Hall will continue to serve. And a heads-up play there by Shearstone to let it go out of bounds. It was close. Give credit to the communication of her bench and her teammates, all yelling to let it go, and she did. And the Trojans get the freebie, and Jakes will serve. Hall to Ablett. Bumped by McLaren. That's Reaney getting it over. Hall. Pushed over the net by Lawton, but it's blocked by Shearstone. Another two-hand push over the net. Blocked again. That time it was by Velasquez, and it's just dropped in. That's Tavares. 11-9 now your score. You've got to give these Trojans credit. They have been hanging on. They hung on in the first set, and they're keeping set number 2 competitive as well. Here's Ablett with a chance. Stopped by Shearstone. Getting it over now is Donahue. Ablett plays it back to Crane, and we're going to get another call against the Indians. Another infraction inside the zone. 11-10, And Bridgewater-Raynham can tie this thing. Jakes to serve. Stopped by Bouvier. Hall to Velasquez. Just out of bounds and not by much. The Indians thought that was good. They had to wait for the call. And it was just out. We're tied at 11. Jakes. Dug by Crane. Nice back set over to Lawton, who slams it home. The Indians regain the lead. Sorrell, Lawton, and give the credit to Hall for an excellent back serve. Or back set, I should say. Jump serve by Lawton is no good. Bounces back. Again, we're tied. This time at 12 apiece. Hart will go back to the service line. And she'll look to give the Trojans their first lead here in this set. Stopped by Crane, and it's an ace. Crane stopped it. Ablett tried to save it. She couldn't do it. It's a service ace, and the Trojans gain their first lead here of the second set, and now they are on fire, and they have all the momentum. Here's Hart. Heads up play by Bouvier to let it go out of bounds. Both her and Lawton were there. And the Indians will take it. We're tied at 13. Here's Velasquez. McLaren. At the net, tipped. Hall plays it back, and just getting it over were the Indians. Excellent playing. There's Tavares, a tip off the net. Getting it over was Reaney. Hall to Wheaton. No, just out of bounds. 14-13 now your score. And Ashley Lyonnaise will come in off the bench, and she'll substitute Velasquez. Here's Reaney to serve. One of the tallest players out there. We've seen her with a few blocks today. Another call against the Indians. 15-13 now your score. And now the Trojans have their largest lead of the afternoon. They lead by 2. Reaney and Crane just saves it from being an ace. Hall gets it over. Stopped by Tavares. Reed having all sorts of trouble. Gets it over. Stopped by a lot. There's Crane. Yes. Slammed it down right in front of Hart. Hart did dig it. She had it. She bumped it, but she bumped it out of bounds. And it's now a 1-point game, 15-14. And Korea will now serve for the Indians. Nice serve. Stopped by Shearstone and Hart at the end line. Hall. There's Crane with a two-hand push. Stopped by Jakes on the far side. And the Indians have tied it on the net call against Bridgewater-Raynham. And they get a huge break there. Here's Korea to serve once again. So both teams find themselves now 10 points away from winning this second stanza. McLaren just gets it over, and she will. The point is good from Madison McLaren. 16-15 now your score. Here's Tavares to serve. High arcing serve, a good one. Crane, yes. Drops it right in front of Tavares. Tied at 16. Crane with a jump serve. Stopped by Reed, just gets it over the net. Hall. Getting it over to Lawton, who just gets it over. That's Reed. Hall. Back over to Lawton. Shearstone with the block. McLaren, who just had the last point for Bridgewater-Raynham, gets it over. There's Lawton, a two-hand touch. And it's good. Right in front of the broadcast booth, the ball lands Diving for it was Maya Hart. She couldn't get it. Give her an A for effort, and the Indians regain the lead. The pendulum swings back their way at 17-16, and here's Crane. She just has been a little off today on that jump serve of hers. She's had so much success all season long, but today she's had a few errors with it, just coming up short. We're tied at 17. McLaren on the service attempt. Blocked. Lawton. Yes. Justin Bounds had to wait for the call, but it is good. It is in play. Sorrel Lawton gets the kill, 18-17, and now Bouvier will serve. Line drive, and it's just out of bounds. She tried to pick the corner on the far side. She had the right idea. She just missed, and we're tied at 18. And Reed will now step back in to serve. We had a stoppage here. We had to get a new ball wiped down. We got it. The jump serve hits the tape. It's in play. It's good, but the Indians block it. There's Lawton. Yes. It went off of the hands of McLaren, who blocked it, and it went out of bounds. That's a good kill for the Indians. They regained the lead. Here's Hall to serve. Stopped by McLaren. Ablett. Lawton blocked at the net. Out of bounds, is still in play because the Indians keep it that way. Great hustle by Bouvier. That was Donahue getting it over. A chance for Crane. Blocked. McLaren. Ablett with the block, and Bouvier can't catch up to it. Too far out of her reach, and we're tied again. Now it's 19 apiece. I tell you, if you're a fan of volleyball, then this second set is certainly for you. It's been nothing but back and forth. It's been a roller coaster ride between these two teams. Jakes to serve. Just tipped over by McLaren. Nice dig on the near side by Lawton. I thought that was a goner for sure. There's Marini. Net call against her on the kill attempt. Huge break for the Indians. They now have a 20-19 lead. Got to give credit to Lawton, though. She tells the story on that with that dig that she had to save it. That's Donnie who gets it over. Crane. Stopped by McLaren. Nice play. Back to Shearstone. Hall to Crane. Nice dig at the far side by McLaren. And we're going to get a net bump call against Bridgewater-Raynham again, this time against Reaney. And the Indians will take it. They lead 21-19, and Lawton will continue to serve. The jump service. Stopped by Tavares. Tavares on the give and go. Blocked by Hall. Ablett, the bump to Crane. Blocked at the net by Reaney, who's so good at that net with the blocking. There's a chance, and it's good. No, just out of bounds. The Indians thought they had it, as did the near side official. The call went the other way. Ablett looked like she touched it down. Didn't miss by much. 21-20. Huge break for Bridgewater-Raynham. Here's Hart. Bouvier on the stop. Here's Crane on the far side. No good. We're tied at 21. We've got a barn burner, folks. Hart to serve. Stopped by Crane. Crane on the give and go. Nice play by Shearstone, and it's good. It's a kill for the Indians. Shearstone had the block. It was a good one. She got down low. She dug it out, but it was too far out of the reach of Tavares, who went for it out of bounds. And the Indians regained the lead. Here's Velasquez to serve. Jakes playing it back to McLaren. Stopped by Lawton. Crane. Stopped again by McLaren. The net, and it's good. Trying to save it was Reaney. 23-21, the Indians now on top. And now they find themselves in the driver's seat. But before we can get there, Maria Serrano is going to call for another timeout. Would like to thank you all for watching us on the YouTube live stream, courtesy of DCTV. Again, as I said earlier in this match, trust me, we wish you weren't watching it on YouTube. We wish you were watching this SEC Championship final match here live and in person with us, but hopefully you think that this is the next best thing, us bringing you the live action and the play-by-play. Ian Abreu here with you. So whether you're watching us live right now on YouTube or watching us via tape delay on DCTV Comcast cable, we're happy you've decided to spend part of your morning, afternoon, evening with us whenever this happens to be airing. Right now it's about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 12th of November. Here's Reaney tipping it over, stopped by Ablett. Getting it over was Crane. Crane stopped by Shearstone. Tavares tips it over. That's Hall. Hall to Crane. Yes, that's good. It went off the hands of Reaney, landed out of bounds, and now it's game point time for the Indians, and they can take a commanding 2-0 lead in this best-of-5 championship series. Velasquez. Jakes to Shearstone. Way out of bounds, airmailed. A huge break for the Indians. And with that error on the kill attempt, set number 2 is in the books for Dartmouth. And they are one set away from taking home a 2020 Southeast Conference Championship title. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with set number 3 in less than 3 minutes here on DCTV. So the Indians are in the driver's seat to take this overall match. They have a 2-0 lead. They won set number 1, 25-19. Then they took care of business again in set number 2, this time a little more competitive, but still a victory for the Indians. The score that time was 25-21, and the Trojans will serve. And they now, if they want to take home a SEC championship title up to Route 24, they're going to have to win 3 in a row, a tall order. But the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, and perhaps that was the single step on the initial ace by Jakes. That's in bounds. The Indians let it go. Back-to-back aces for Ashley Jakes. 2-0 your score. The Trojans now have a 2-point lead to start this thing. That's Crane on a stop. Velasquez over to Hall, who just gets it over, and it's good. 2-1 your score. And hopefully, if you're an Indian fan, that first point can start some momentum for the home team. Sorrel Lawton to serve. An ace, too hot to handle for McLaren, 2-2. And just as quick as the Trojans had a 2-point lead, the Trojans lose it. Lawton, stopped by Shearstone. That's Jakes, who just gets it over. Hall to Crane. Yes, it was deflected and blocked by Tavares at the net, but the point goes to the Indians, 3-2, and they now get their first lead of the set. Lawton. Yes, an ace. Sorrel Lawton trying to stop it was Logan Tavares on the near side of the court near us. But she just mishandled, and now the Indians have a 2-point lead. Lawton again, yes! Back-to-back service aces for Sorrel Lawton. 5-2, and the Indians have now rattled off 5 points in a row after falling behind 2-0 in this third frame. Can Lawton get 3 in a row? And she will! Sorrel Lawton with back-to-back service aces. 6-2. And let's see if she can get another one. She tries for 4 in a row. Will she get it? She will! 4 in a row for Sorrel Lawton. Back-to-back aces. And Maria Serrano is going to quickly burn her first timeout of this third set. 7-2 your score. And the Indians went from trailing 2-0 to now extending a pretty comfortable 5-point lead at 7-2. So no matter what happens here this evening, we just want to make sure we give credit to the graduating seniors of the Indians. The program will lose Jamie Hall, Ashley Lyonnaise, Haley Correa, Jillian Garcia, Hannah Bouvier, and Bailey Spardella. They'll lose them all to graduation. It'll be interesting to see how the Indians will retool in the offseason through their offseason programs and what freshmen or other upperclassmen may come in and decide they want to try volleyball and make an impact. So we want to wish the best of luck to all of those seniors in all of their future endeavors, as this will be their last. And we have another ace. Right out of the timeout, Sorrel Lawton give her 5 in a row. As I was saying about these seniors, no matter what happens, this will be their last varsity contest as an Indian on the volleyball squad. Dugout on the kill attempt by McLaren. This Crane rejected at the net by Reaney. There's Donahue. Reaney is so talented at that net. Shearstone. A lot of Trojans now converging on the net. Lyonnaise conservatively plays it back to Lawton, who just gets it over to Shearstone. Reaney Ablett, Hall to Crane, a two-hand push. Out of bounds, 9-2 your score. Shearstone tried to stop it. She did, but it went out of bounds. But if you're an Indian fan, this team will be loaded again coming back, not even counting new players, and trying for the ace, and she'll get it. Sorrel Lawton, another ace. Coming back, you're going to have Lauren Augusto, Sorrel Lawton, who just had another ace, Madison Goldzian, Lily Wheaton, Amelia Ablett, Gabby Velasquez, and Ava Crane. So despite losing some key players, this team is still going to be very loaded. And Sorrel Lawton again with another ace. She's the story here. 11-2 now your score. The Indians have turned this third set into a laugher. Another ace. Unbelievable. Sorrel Lawton continues to be in fuego here in this third set. The Indians have now made this third set a laugher. They lead by 10. Lawton again, stopped by Feist. Tipped over the net, but we have a net call against the Trojans. Touching the net on the tip was Reaney inside the COVID zone. 13-2 now your score. Here's Sorrel Lawton to continue to serve. And she will until the points change hands. Reaney stopped by Lawton. There's Crane. Hits the net, bounces back, and the Trojans finally get back on the board. To serve now will be Maya Hart. A 10-point game, 13-3. Indians well in control of their destiny now. And you would think an SEC title is all but inevitable here. And there's an ace for Maya Hart. So Maya Hart wants to at least make the Indians earn it here. And the Trojans have rattled off 2 points in a row. Hart again. Stopped by Crane. Hall. Back to Crane. Blocked at the net. Excellent play by who else? Katie Reaney. Reaney is so tall at that net, she rejected it right in Crane's face. And it lands in Indian territory, and they get the point. 13-5. Lawton on the stop. Hall to Crane. Out of bounds, not by much. 13-6. And now we have 4 points in a row scored by Bridgewater-Raynham. They're looking to make things more competitive. And Hart will continue to serve. Crane on the stop. Hall back to Crane. Another rejection, but it's waiting for the call. Yes, they're going to say it landed, but in bounds. We had to wait for the call. It was a delayed call. Rachel Lassie wanted some more explanation on that. 13-7 your score. Stopped by Lawton. Bouvier gets it back in bounds. That's Ablett who just gets it over. Shearstone. McLaren. Yes. Madison McLaren. 6 points in a row for Bridgewater-Raynham. They made now what was at one point a laugher in this third set. Competitive ball game. Give them credit for not quitting. Another call against the Indians. 9-9. A 4. Maya Hart to serve. Stopped by Bouvier. Just gets it over the net. Tipped by Reaney. Stopped by the Indians. There's Crane. We have to wait for the call. Yes, that is good on a deflection. It looked like a deflection to the naked eye, but we had to wait for the call. It did go off of Reaney's fingertips. 14-9. Here's Velasquez on the serve. Stopped by Jakes. Back to Reaney. Bumps it over. Ablett. Over to Lawton. Stopped by McLaren. Tavares. That's Hall. Wheaton tries for a back set. She's called for the carry. 14-10. So now the Trojans crack double figures, and we have a sub coming in. Jillian Garcia will come in for the Indians, and she'll substitute Gabby Velasquez. Julia Shearstone will get back to the service line. Hall to Wheaton. No good. Call against the Indians on the net. 14-11. Here's Shearstone. Stopped by Crane. Hall. Back to Crane. Rejected by Reed, and it's good. What a play by Sadia Reed, the senior. 14-12. And you got to give the Trojans credit. They've made a game out of this thing, and they are not only alive, they are alive and well. Hall tries to get it over. Shearstone, one hit, two hit, and finally getting it over was Reed, and the Indians touch it down. (15-12) your score. Bailey Spardella to serve. Dartmouth now finds themselves 10 points away from winning the set. Stopped by Tavares. Reed gets it over. That's blocked by Garcia. Tipped over the net by Wheaton. Crane to Hall. Just tries to punch it over. She can't. No good. Ball and point go back to Bridgewater-Raynham. And we find ourselves again with a 2-point contest. It's now 15-13. Here's Tavares. Hall to Crane, tipped. Yes, it was tipped by Reed, also tipped by Moratelli. Both were there on the far side, but their deflections landed outside and out of bounds. 16-13. Crane now to serve. Hopefully she can get her service back on par, and she can't. She's had a tough go of it today from the service line. She's been great, as always, with the kills, but that jump serve of hers just isn't happening today. Here's McLaren to serve, stopped by Crane. Hall to Lawton. Yes, on the deflection, the ball and point go to the Indians. 17-14. Spardella to serve. And we have a sub now for the Indians. Velasquez will come back in. And she'll be replacing Wheaton. Bouvier on the serve attempt, tipped by Reed at the net. Hall. Textbook set that time from Velasquez, but stopped by Shearstone. There's Donahue. Hall with the bump set over to Lawton, but it's blocked on the near side. And Bouvier, very smartly, heads up play there, lets it go out of bounds. Donahue volleys it over. Very close, but the Indians get the free point, and they'll take it. They lead by 4. Bouvier now to serve. Hits the tape, and it's good. It deflected right off the top of the netting, landed inbounds right in front of Donahue. Another ace for Hannah Bouvier. It's now 19-14. She'll try for 2 in a row. Stopped by Shearstone. Moratelli. Hall. 2-hand tip, and it's good. No, just saved. What an excellent defensive maneuvering by Moratelli. There's Lawton. Yes. Sorrel Lawton with the kill on the outside. It's now 20-14. You got to give credit to Bridgewater-Raynham on that defense, though. That 2-hand tip by Hall was as good as in. It bounced off the net and Moores, but she was able to save it, keep the play alive, but all was irrelevant because Sorrel Lawton slammed it home on the very next sequence. And Maria Serrano is going to call another timeout, her second of the set. Well, the Indians lead by 6, 20-14, and they're in good places right now. We'll see what happens here with the instructions, but if you're Bridgewater-Raynham, you're really going to let it all hang out now because your season is literally on the brink. We'll see what happens here. Will they give one last concerted effort, or will they just be deflated, and will the Indians take care of business and rattle it off here? Time will tell. Here's Bouvier. Stopped by Shearstone. Over to Reaney, who just tips it over. Hall. Tipped at the net by Reed, no good. 21-14 your score. Huge break for the Indians. That's one that the talented Sadia Reed, the middle hitter, usually comes up with. Bouvier to serve. By Shearstone. We've been calling her name a lot today. Hall. To Velasquez. Stopped by Newcomb on the far side, but it's good. Newcomb and Shearstone collide. It was saved temporarily by Julia Newcomb on the far side, but it lands in play, 22-14, and the Indians now are in the driver's seat to take this one home. Bouvier, and yes, that'll be another ace for Hannah Bouvier, 23-14. She'll try for 2 in a row. Shearstone with the stop to Donahue. Over to Newcomb, who bumps it over. There's Lawton with a deflection. Nice block by Reed. Lawton again, dug out by Shearstone. Newcomb to Reed. Stopped by Spardella. Lawton. Nice dig, and Newcomb is just able to save it. What a play. Here's Velasquez. Off the top of the net. Good. We play on. Here's Lawton. Stopped again by Donahue. The Indians can't get it by now. Great defense by Bridgewater-Raynham. Lawton again with a chance. No, out of bounds. Huge break for Bridgewater-Raynham. That was destined for the far left corner, and it just missed. 23-15, and Reed will serve. Jump serve, no good. 24-15. And now it is game point time for the Indians, and they'll have a sub. Spardella will come out. Ablett will come in. Here it is here, folks, all on the line. Stopped by Shearstone to McLaren. Ablett. And Ablett just tried to tip it and set it ahead to Velasquez. And neither communicated. 24-16 your score. Jakes to serve. Just drops it in for the ace. Ashley Jakes. 24-17 your score. Serve. Stopped by Crane. Lawton gets it over. Blocked by Feist. That's McLaren getting it over and out of bounds. No good. The Indians win the set. They win the match in a 3-0 sweep, and they have won the 2020 Southeast Conference Championship. They are the league champions here in 2020. Congratulations to the Dartmouth High Lady Indians. They finished off the 2020 season, both regular and post, with a perfect 13-0 record, while the Trojans finish off their season with a 5-8 record. Wow, we've had a lot of pleasure, folks, calling these games thus far this year for you. Again, this will be the last girls varsity volleyball telecast of the 2020-2021 school year. We hope to see you back, God willing, next fall for more great Dartmouth High girls volleyball action. Again, the Dartmouth High Indians win the Southeast Conference Championship with scores of 25-19, 25-21, and 25-17 for a 3-0 sweep in sets, and they win the overall match, and they finish off their 2020 season with a perfect 13-0 record. Again, congratulations to the Lady Indians on capping off what has been an historic and monumental season, and we wish them nothing but luck in their future endeavors, the graduating seniors, and for those coming back, we look forward to more great things in both the regular and postseason tournaments in the seasons ahead. For our entire broadcast, before we sign off here, let's just see. I was ready to sign off. I think they may be awarding the girls with something. Before we sign off here, I was about to, but we want to make sure we capture this for all the folks watching and listening at home. Yeah, so it looks like the girls are going to be awarded Southeast Conference Championship shirts. And you can see it right there, 2020 champions. That's great. So these girls will have a keepsake now to wear and to always remember this historic victory. They are the champions. Unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there is no state tournament, no travel with the state tournament, no championship trophy to hoist, but this is not a bad consolation prize. You still won your league, you won the pod, and you finished off 13-0, and this is a team that will be remembered here at Dartmouth High School for many years to come. Well, that'll wrap things up from the Carlin Lynch Activity Center. Again, the Indians are the Southeast Conference champions with a final score of 3-0 over the Trojans of Bridgewater-Raynham. For Mike Fernandez and our entire production crew, this is Ian Abreu saying so long, everyone, and until we see each other again, take care, everybody.